Hi and welcome to The Winning Factor. I'm Aitken, and what we're doing on this show each week is trying to identify the element of a race that will ultimately decide the result. We'll look back on it later and we'll say that's why a particular horse won. Except what we're trying to do here is identify it ahead of time. First race we're going to look at for Sha Tin on Saturday is race 2. It's a class 3, 1800 metres, only a small field, and our winning factor here is the map. Now we look down the field here, and the main ones that I'm interested in analysing are New Elegance, who's having his first run back for the season, and also Beauty Day, who's run a couple of bottlers at his 2 starts this season. Now Beauty Day is coming up in class without winning a race. Watchers of this show will realise that I've identified in the past that coming up in class is a real positive for a horse, and it leads us to a lot of winners. Coming up in class without a win though is not quite as strong. As you'll see on this graphic here, its strike rate is about half or less than half of what we get for horses which have won their last start and rising in class. Still, the strike rate of a horse going up in grade and without a win is still better than horses going down in class. It could be a dampener, but it isn't in this case, because what we're going to zero in on is the map, the pressure in the race. Now let's have a look at what Beauty Day has already done in 2 starts this season. Firstly, race 6 on opening day. Now we see that Zac Purton, his jockey on that occasion, was pushing him along hard just to keep up for much of this race. Now you see on the heat map it was quite warm through the middle stages of the race, the pace was strong, and at one point I thought that Beauty Day was even going to drop out of the race because he couldn't go that speed. That was over 1400 metres. He kept coming though and was quite close on the line, running second. At his next start, Purton tried to take that kind of issue out of the equation by trying to lead on Beauty Day from the outside barrier, and he successfully crossed, and the horse was going to come back to him in the mid-race and possibly get a bit of a breather. But at that stage, the outsider, Come On Wong Choi, charged around the field at about the 800 metres, went up and pestered Beauty Day and made him go much faster than was ideal. Again, you see on the heat map, very strong sectionals here for the first 3 400 metre splits of the race. That's 1200 metres where they're running above average time. It was no surprise then that over the final 200 metres, Beauty Day gets tired and he gets run over. Now Beauty Day is an ISG, an international sales griffin, and we find that those horses are a little more backward than unraced horses that come to Hong Kong by some other route. They have less foundation, less education, and they take a little bit longer to get going. But what that means is they continue to improve with racing. And I think that's what we're looking at here with Beauty Day, a horse who's had 8 starts already, but I think he's relatively untapped. On the map we can see that this time Beauty Day should be able to lead, stepping up to 1800 metres, and with a lot less pressure than he's had in those 2 previous runs. It could be an interesting tactical battle, because the other horse who likes to race up on speed here is New Elegance, and Purton has switched to that horse, and of course he knows New Elegance very well. So my tip in race 2 is Beauty Day. It's a little bit of a dampener that he's up in grade without winning. However, our winning factor here is the map, and I think he gets all the favours here to get less pressure in front, stepping up to a more suitable 1800 metres. The second race we want to take a look at is the Class 2 over 1600 metres, and here our winning factor is the sectionals. And looking down the field here, I think most punters are going to land on 2 potential winners here. Both of them last start winners, rising in grade from Class 3 to Class 2, and they are Circuit Number 2 and Green Energy. Circuit Number 2 and Green Energy are both from informed stables, Tony Cruz and Danny Shum, coming off wins, rising in grade, but the similarities end there. When we look at their 2 wins, they are completely different styles of victory. First of all, we're going to look at race 21 when Circuit Number 2 sat outside the lead in a fairly slowly run race where the leaders picked it up from the 800 metres and outran the ones behind, and he was gritty and tough, beating Friends of Ka Ying in the dash home. In race 59, Green Energy was a completely different style of win. We see at the start that Dylan Moe looks to have made the decision to go back out of the wide gate on Green Energy, a different style of race for this horse, and he had blinkers on the first time, and that may have contributed to those tactics. But it certainly worked. There was some pressure mid-race in this, and he came from last with a real wow factor finish, bursting home down the centre of the track to win going away. Now bear in mind that Green Energy's win came on October 1st, National Day, when some of the best horses in Hong Kong were out on show. So for him to be able to register his final 400 metre sectional amongst the top 5 on the day was pretty exceptional going for a Class 3 winner. That says he's right up to winning in Class 2. And now we have a look at the map, because that's going to be crucial. Now Tony Cruz's pair, Circuit Hassler and Circuit number 2, look to have total control of the speed here. And that means the gamble for Shum with Green Energy is whether to return to past tactics with the horse, tactics before he trained him, when he sat closer than we saw last start, but he also didn't show that big sectional finish. I think he'll settle for somewhere in between, using a better draw and the step up to 1600 metres to sit a bit closer, but not so close as to risk killing off that big finishing sprint. So my tip in race 8 is Green Energy. His winning factor, the sectionals. I think he has a bigger finish than his major rival, and a draw and a distance that should enable him to use that talent. Well, that's it for this week's winning factor. See you next time.